Hello everybody and welcome back to another video for the day. We are heading back into r/AmITheDevil, and if you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up the wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. Also, if you want to save 10% with your next order of gamer subs, use code Tommy at checkout or click the link down below. Help support the channel. Am I the a-hole for telling a school psychologist that she is a moron and shouldn't be a school psychologist? Long story short, I assumed guardianship of my great-nephew when he was 6. Luke is my son of my 24-year-old nephew, Lucas, and his high school baby mama. It was a huge mess, which is why I stepped in. Luke was a bit behind academically and was given an IEP, which included weekly therapy sessions at school. The school didn't have its own psychologist, so they agreed to pay for an outside therapist. Luke is now 11 and has seen Dr. Kent for 5 years. Dr. K really helped Luke a lot of personal trauma and provided valuable support during court proceedings. Lucas is really an average kid. He has a lot of friends, speaks 3 languages, and wants to perform autopsies when he gets older. Ah yes, you know, because that speaks average kid. Back in August, Dr. Ken announced that he was retiring in October. The school decided to hire 2 full-time psychologists. Luke has had 3 sessions with the new psychologist, Dr. Jenna, and refuses to see her anymore. Getting an 11-year-old boy to open up is like untying a Gordian knot, but it is, I gathered, that Dr. Jenna wanted to talk about some of his trauma. He freaked out. He was worried that his classmates would find out and tease him. Plus, he's not comfortable talking about things with women. He's more comfortable with guys and doesn't feel shame. Plus, Dr. Jenna always hugs him before and after a session. The only people he doesn't mind having physical contact with is when he's play fighting with his friends or when he wants me to rub his back while watching YouTube videos in my bed. I said, screw this, and found a therapist who Luke seems to like. I told Dr. Jenna to send me paperwork to terminate her services, and that I was going to request that the district pay for the sessions. She was confused why I was doing that. I said that I'm a busy guy, so I'll be direct. Luke doesn't want to see you because you make him feel uncomfortable and emasculated and judged. He's regressing and has anxiety. He's been through a lot and doesn't want to talk to a female therapist about things he wants and needs to talk about. That offended her. She said she was qualified as any man. I said this isn't about your feelings or what you feel is right, and no, you are not as qualified to provide therapy sessions to Luke as Dr. Kent or this other guy. Maybe to another kid, but not my kid. She actually said that she was. I said, what makes that so? She said, I read a lot of books and took classes. I said, well, that's a moronic thing to say, and if you are offended by Luke's comfort level, then you shouldn't be a school psychologist. Reality is that you wouldn't say what you are saying if the Luke was a girl and has been through similar experiences. That led to another call with the special education coordinator, who said that Dr. Jenna was deeply offended by what I said. I couldn't care less, and go tell her to read some more books. I could have gone further with my constructive criticism, but I didn't. Saying that somebody isn't as qualified as somebody else just because they happen to be a woman instead of a man, yeah, that kind of seems bad. But also at the same time, the person who's the psychologist isn't really good either, because they're upset because a client wants somebody that makes them feel more comfortable, and if they have past trauma relating to anything, then it shouldn't be something that goes ignored. Thinking that the school should pay for somebody outside of their facilities, though, that's a bit of a stretch. Am I the a-hole for not financially supporting my daughter's university decision? I, F37, had a daughter, 18F, and her twin brother, M18, at 19. It was difficult, but I had the support from both of my lovely parents. My father is not in the picture, but I like to think I've done well with the kids. I am a medical receptionist, and my parents were kind enough to let us initially live in the family home with them. They adored helping out with the kids, and we are really close. I spent 10 years saving money for a house deposit, so I didn't have to get a massive mortgage, and ended up getting a house down the road from my parents. I got very lucky, and the mortgage is already paid off. Anyways, my son is a second-year plumbing apprentice and lives at home. His plan is to keep living at home to save money while he does his apprenticeship, especially since the pay is pretty poor. My daughter wants to study music and eventually get a master's in education so she can be a music teacher. I think it's a great plan, and I completely support it. The issue is that she wants to attend a specific university in the city. It's a 3-hour drive from our house, and she will need to move out if she wants to attend there. She has a lot of friends in that area from doing sports and band, and most of them are going to this university. But I'm worried about her moving out, studying and working a part-time job that will barely cover her weekly rent, let alone utilities, groceries, car expenses, etc. A lot of her friends' parents are going to help financially support them through the first year by covering rent. I could technically afford it. After taxes and weekly expenses, I put away about $300 a week in savings. This is what I drip into for family holidays, my own leisure activities, Christmas, birthdays, and general life expensive costs or surprise costs. So, wants me to contribute $90 to $100 per week to help her out. But I don't want to. Maybe I'm being selfish, but I like where I've managed to get to with my life after a really rocky start. I like my lifestyle. I love going on big holiday trips with families and friends. Little nights away with my close friends, going to the gym, going to art classes, having a weekly cleaner, etc. I know it's very a rich white lady of me, but I'm happy and finally starting to get back into dating after some rough events in the past. There is a university closer to home. It's only a 20-minute drive where she can study music and do her education degree. And I'm more than happy to have her live here rent-free while she does it, including covering groceries and everything I've always done. My parents are retired. They had me late in life and don't really understand the situation, so they aren't much help. My daughter is really upset with me because she says that I'm crushing her dreams. She has plenty of friends here, and even if she wanted to go a bit further out there to meet new people, there's another university 45 minutes away and 1.5 hours away. Am I the a-hole? Yeah, because you're saying that you're having a rocky livings, but at the same time you have all these luxurious things like a frickin' cleaner, and, your daughter wants to do something for her education. The only downside for you is that she would need just like $100 a week. And that's it. You're saying all of these things that you get to do, and then you're still able to pocket that much. I feel like there's a couple of those things, or at least one of those things you could have gone about, and then you would still be saving about $200 to $300 extra dollars on top of that. Like, I don't know, frickin' cleaner, that you could learn to clean your own house. That could be something. Am I the a-hole for wanting to break up with my girlfriend for not reading a book? Well, off that title alone, you got a big old fat yes going through my head, so yeah, let's delve into this shit. Am I the a-hole? I'm thinking of leaving my girlfriend because she won't read my book. I, 22F, have been writing a book in a fantasy setting about the numerous traumatic events in my life over the past 2 years. I have dreams of publishing, but mostly write for the therapeutic side. And I know it's no masterpiece, but it's mine. I have been seeing a 26F for 8 months, dating for nearly 6 months, and she has yet to read it. We have had numerous in-person and conversations over the phone about the importance of this book, and I know she understands that it means the world to me. On our first date, I told her how important the book was to me. I told her how my ex and I fought about a lot, but one of the straws that led to the breakup was my ex not bothering to read the book. I told 26F on that date that I would know someone truly loves me when they are willing to take a few hours of their day to read the unfinished book. I even told her about a year prior When I had sent out a draft of my book to 20 or so people and friends who liked fantasy, and not one of them read it. I could tell from the link that no one has clicked on it. And when I removed everything from the documents onto one new page, so if anyone tried opening it, they would see a blank page, no one ever reached out about it. This was uniquely devastating, and this is around the time I broke up with my ex. I have A, told my girlfriend 26F about this, B, before we were officially dating, I did the same thing to her 26F to see if she read it. She did not. She was mad when I hid the book the first time to see if she would read it, and told me that she doesn't like games, and she felt like it was a test, which I completely understand. And even though I feel bad about it, it was a test. Flash forward, we have been seeing each other for 4 months. Girlfriends for almost 2. I literally told her to her face that if she tried to say, "I love you," to me before reading the book, I wouldn't believe her. That I need her to read my book. It's a huge part of me. I work on every day. I work weekends and nights, so during the day I plot and write for my book. How could someone love me and not know about something that means so much to me, and I've worked so hard on? Months went by, and she said "I love you" without reading the book. I made a fuss, told her to read the damn book again, and she said she would. In fact, on 4 occasions, I hate myself for remembering each time, she asked me to read aloud to her. I was always more than happy to do this, and we got 5 chapters of 20 completed in, and I was so hopeful, and then she just never asked again. Now, to my present day dilemma. 5 weeks ago, I remember, because this is gnawing at me, I had resentment building up because I watched her read 3 books. She would text me in the morning before work about 10 peaceful mornings that she had readings, or when her cat would join her. We even went on a vacation together and she sat outside to read without me. So I said something. I said something 5 weeks ago, that she's going to lose me if she doesn't read the book. 2 weeks into that, unrelated, she told me how much she loved me, and how she was beginning to see a future for us. I said that you felt the same, but obviously something was holding me back. I told her honestly, her not reading the book was really starting to bother me, and I didn't want to reach a point that I was nagging her. But it feels like I'm already there. Last night, maybe I made a mistake. I removed her from the document the book is on again. If she wants to read it, she'll have to ask for my permission. I don't want to give an ultimatum because I love her, and then she will just read it and resent me. But I'm genuinely thinking of breaking up with her, because she cannot do this one thing for me. She spoils me, and loves spending time with me, and we fit so well together. I don't know what to do. Am I an a-hole? Edit. I am sorry for being vague about that, traumatic aspects of the book. I turn things like my parents' divorce into a feud between magic families, and bullies into mean creatures. It's all more like a metaphor that's pretty much removed from real trauma, which she sadly knows about the scary parts of my life from just normal conversations we've had as a couple. So you're ready to break up a relationship just because they don't want to read your book, which is you turning your past traumas into a fantasy story. Everything else worked out perfectly fine, but because they don't want to read your little book, that's it. Vamoose, I'm out. Yeah, no, that is absolutely nutjob, and if anything, they're better off single if that's your breaking point. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife that it's her fault that I can't get her pregnant? I have been married to my wife for over 12 years now, and while I love her deeply, we have a significant ongoing conflict regarding our lewd life and birth control. I've always been clear that I'm uncomfortable with hormonal contraceptives, as I prefer to not have her taking pills to prevent pregnancy. We disagree, particularly on the rubber types. I need a thinner, stronger one due to my childhood injury, while she insists on thicker ones for added security against pregnancy. For years, she suggested I consider a vasectomy if I was unhappy with the rubbers. I explained my injury made the idea daunting. Vasectomies aren't just easily reversible, and the longer one waits, the less likely it is to successfully reverse it. Despite my efforts to show her scientific research on the topic, she didn't believe me and often became angry when I presented facts. After 6 years of marriage, and grappling with my fears of surgery stemming from traumatic experiences in my past, I finally went through with a vasectomy. While my procedure was successful, the recovery was tough. I experienced considerable pain, and when I sought her comfort, she often reacted with frustration, insisting I shouldn't need constant reassurance. Those 2 weeks were challenging, but gradually our intimacy improved. Recently, my wife expressed a desire to have a baby, which I reminded her might not be feasible given my vasectomy. She was resistant to the idea of adoption, believing biological connections were vital. A few months ago, she asked me to reverse the vasectomy. I was hesitant, still nervous about the surgery, especially since I felt neglected during my recovery the first time. I made it clear that I needed her support if I were to consider it again. Eventually, she apologized and was supportive leading up to the reversal. However, the doctor warned us that due to the time since my initial procedure, the chances of successfully conceiving were slim. My wife dismissed this, convinced it was just a way of the doctor to downplay the surgery's success. After recovering from the reversal, we attempted to conceive for several weeks with no success. When I sought medical advice, the doctor reiterated the slim chances. My wife's frustration grew, and during a heated argument, she accused me of being irresponsible for not getting pregnant sooner. She escalated to her throwing a plate at me, prompting me to leave and stay with my mother. Now she's bombarding me with messages to return home, insisting I need to man up and face the situation. I'm left questioning if I was too harsh in placing blame on her during our fight. Am I the a-hole for this? Edit. Okay, so to add more context, when I say I'm not comfortable with my wife taking birth control, I was referring to the fact that I'm not comfortable with her changing her body for my sake. I wouldn't make her stop taking them if she chose to take them herself, and for the rubber thing. Thin rubbers are just better for me, and it wasn't telling her to only use a certain type of rubber, it was just telling her that what felt better for me. English isn't my first language, sorry for not conveying those things properly. So wait, hold up, you were upset because your wife, you didn't want taking birth control, but you only wanted to take one type of rubber, very much as though if you realize that this could have just been easily avoided if you had just, I don't know, let your wife take the birth control like she wanted to, then we wouldn't have this problem, but no, you out here doing your thing. Great job. But also, the wife telling you to get the vasectomy, and then after the vasectomy saying, hey, let's try for a baby, you can just simply get it undone, that doesn't put her in the light either. Both of y'all suck. But with that, that is going to have to be it with the video. If you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support, and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye!